If your hair's been looking a little flat lately, I've got a simple trick that will change everything. The best part is that it's not complicated, it doesn't involve buying a ton of new products, and you can do it right at home. It's beginner friendly, but delivers high impact results. Today I'm going to show you how to use one of the most underrated and often forgotten tools for creating volume, bounce, and that polished salon style finish, and that is Velcro rollers. Let's get started. Velcro rollers work best on dry hair. If you try setting them in damp or wet hair, you'll end up with frizz, not volume, and nobody wants that. Ideally, you want to start with hair that's been freshly blown out or at the very least is completely dry. A smooth blowout with a blowout brush is the best prep, though. It gives you a really solid foundation, helps the rollers glide in really easily, and it locks in that soft, bouncy, voluminous shape the best. Now, if you're not sure how to give yourself a blowout, I actually filmed a detailed tutorial on that last year, so I'll pop it up here and I'll link it in the pinned comment so you can check that out first if you need to. Once your hair is set, I like to start with the sections that are right above the ears. These frame your face, so they really help polish the overall look. Take a section about the width of your roller, pull it straight up, and roll the hair downwards towards your head. Pulling the hair up and rolling down helps create that volume right where you want it, which is definitely around the face in the face frame. Now here's a tip that makes this so much easier. Use a clip to secure the floppier rollers in place. Velcro rollers have some grip to them, but the clips keep everything propped up and out of your way while you finish rolling the other sections. You don't necessarily have to clip every section, but try clipping the ones that aren't cooperating, the ones that are flopping. It will just save you a lot of frustration. I learned that the hard way. Just get the clips, okay? Because then when it's flopping around, you can clip it and it's not going to interfere with your other sections. Next, we're moving down to the nape of the neck, and here's where you have some flexibility. You can roll the hair upwards for a soft flipped out finish. It gives the ends a little lift, a little movement, almost a bit of a retro vibe, which I think is super cute. I was inspired by this photo on Pinterest actually, so that's why I chose that roller placement on that day. I got a lot of questions about my hair in this video when I styled it like this, and that's what actually inspired this video. So I think what you guys are really liking about that look is that it's very flippy. It has a lot of movement, and a big part of the reason it has that movement is because I actually rolled the rollers up so that the ends flip out. Now, if you don't like that vibe, if that's not your vibe, I totally get it. You can also roll the hair downwards like I did today. Okay, I wanted to show you two different ways to do it. And that's going to get you a sleeker, more polished look where the ends curve in naturally, which is perfect for that tucked under, more sophisticated finish. It's less playful, it's more sophisticated. Now, there's no right or wrong, okay? There's no right and wrong with beauty. I always say that on this channel because a lot of people ask, well, which one should I do? Really, you have to go with the style or the mood you're feeling on that day. When I'm feeling more polished, I tuck it under. When I'm feeling more playful, I'll tuck it out. Just one more tip before we move on is make sure that the nape layer and the layer above it are rolled in the same direction to keep everything looking seamless. So if you're flipping out, flip 2 rows of rollers out. If you're flipping under, flip both rows of roller under. The nape needs a little bit of support from the hair directly above the nape, so just flip those 2 sections in the same direction. Now, before we continue, I'm going to say something that I never ever say in my videos ever because I find it cringy, but I'm going to say it anyways. I was looking at my analytics the other day and I noticed that 76% of people watching right now are not subscribed. If you're enjoying this video and you're finding the tips helpful, I'd really love to have you stick around. So hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and it really does help to support me in the channel because it's only with that support that I can keep making more videos for you. It really does matter to me. I have a dream of hitting 1 million subscribers in the near future, mostly because my kids will think I'm so cool and I can't do it without your help. So subscribe before you go and I will give you virtual kisses forever. All right, enough about that. Next up, we are working on the section just below the crown, and this layer is important for creating a really smooth blended look. No matter how you roll the nape, I always roll this section downwards, okay? It keeps the hair layering nicely, it adds volume where you need volume, and it prevents any weird flips or bumps at the back of the head. This layer also supports the crown, so taking your time here pays off once we get to the top. So be careful in this area because a lot of the beauty of hairstyles has to do with how full this area looks. Now we are at the top where the magic happens. Now, my favorite way to roll this is straight back. Rolling backwards creates that beautiful lift right at the root. This lift here, that's what rolling backwards will give you. And it will give you that blown out finish that you get when you leave the salon. It looks very professional when you do it this way. So again, like I said before, work with sections that are about the width of your roller. Pull each one straight up or forward if you want even more lift. If you pull forward and roll back, you'll get even more lift at the root, and then clip it securely. This way of doing it also helps your hair naturally fall away from your face, giving you that soft, face-framey movement that we all love. Now, this next step is key, and it's a step that a lot of people miss. Heat is what sets the shape, all right? If you skip heat, the rollers won't do anything, and your hair is just gonna fall flat as soon as you take them out. Once your rollers are in place, you're gonna grab your blow dryer, put a diffuser attachment on it, and gently heat up the rollers. You don't want to blow your hair around, but you do want the hair to get quite warm. So lower your speed, but max out your heat. Once the entire head is warmed up, you can give your hair a little mist of hairspray to help lock everything in, and then let it cool down completely. And that brings me to another really important tip, and that is to make sure that the hair is 100% cool before unraveling the rollers. This is the time when I step away, I do my makeup, I get dressed. By the time I'm done with that, which is like 10 minutes or so, my hair is cooled and ready. Now, if you're short on time, you can also use your blow dryer's cool shot button. You can run it over each roller for a few seconds until everything feels cool to the touch, and then unravel. Just make sure that you are not unraveling when the hair is still hot, or it's not going to last. Now, I know that one of the biggest concerns that people have with Velcro rollers is getting them stuck. Every time I do any kind of video, a short, anything on Velcro rollers, I will get dozens of these comments. So usually rollers get stuck because the sections of hair are either too big for the roller or you've rolled them too tightly. So here's how to avoid that. First of all, you want to use smaller sections. I've said this a few times already, but I'm going to say it again. The section has to be the width of the roller so the hair wraps around evenly without overlapping too much. Okay. Secondly, when you roll, you want to avoid twisting the hair. You got to keep the hair smooth and flat on the roller as you wrap. It's all about being neat. And finally, when it's time to remove, don't pull or tug. Instead, you want to gently unroll or slide the roller out while supporting the base of the hair with the other hand. To be honest, having worked in a salon for over a decade, some people's hair textures are more prone to tangling in the rollers than others. So if you're one of those people, don't think like, what am I doing wrong? I'm crazy. If you have very fine hair that's high in density, a lot of very fine hair, it does have a tendency to stick to the Velcro more than other hair types. But with a little practice, making sure not to take too big of sections, getting the rollers in and out does become so much easier. Actually, it becomes super easy after you do it a few times and you kind of know what to do and what not to do. So don't get too discouraged if you tangle yourself up once or twice. Try again, reduce your section size, roll nice and flatly, and don't roll too tight. Support the base and unravel. And finally, the last step is to finger comb it out. When you get to this step, resist the urge to grab a brush or, God forbid, a fine-tooth comb. Do not grab a fine-tooth comb. That is the quickest way to flatten everything that you just did. Instead, use your fingers to lightly separate the sections, shape your style. If you need a little more control than your fingers, you can use a wide-tooth comb. That works really well too, but keep it really gentle, okay? The goal here is soft, bouncy movement, that still looks polished but doesn't get flattened. If you want, you can now finish off with a light mist of medium hold hairspray. My favorite one is Sebastian Shaper. That's going to lock everything in without making it look stiff or just very outdated. And that's it. Here's the finished result. It's soft, it's voluminous, and it's so easy to recreate anytime you want your hair to feel very bouncy and full. If you found this helpful, again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as that really does help me out a lot. This video's over.